Hi, it's great to have you here today. This is part one, Figuring a Monthly Budget, and I'm Kelly Fountain of Trails Regional Library. Later, we will take our monthly budget and put it into Google Sheets to create a digital budget. You can find me at fountaink@trailslibrary.org. So let's get started. The first thing we need to consider is, what is a budget? A budget is a way of tracking the flow of your money. It also allows people to make monetary decisions and projections based on monthly income and expenses. A budget consists of three main things: income, expenditures, and totals and balances. Now we need to start brainstorming the budget. This can be daunting for most people. What do I write down? How much am I spending? The first thing you need to think about is all your income and all your expenditures for the month, and make a list of each item. Try something like this: monthly bills, electricity, $110, gas, $55. Just get your stuff together and start getting organized. Often it feels like your money's just flowing out the window. But when we start to think a little bit more, we have income, and that's our credits. This could be payroll or any extra revenue. These will appear as positive numbers. And then our expenditures will be our debits, utilities, mortgage and rent, bills, car payments. These will appear as negative numbers. Once we know these different factors, we can organize our draft budget. We'll start with our monthly expenses. It might be a good idea just to get all your bills together and spread them out in a pile and start to organize them. You're going to want to organize them by due date. You're going to want to put the ones that are due first on the top, and the ones due later in the month towards the bottom. And once you do this and make a list, we can use that for our spreadsheet for later. This is what my list might look like. I would have my mortgage, my electricity, my water, my internet and home phone. Maybe your cell phone separate, maybe it's with your internet. However that payment plan is worked out, that's what you would reflect on your monthly list. You may have a loan or a credit card or a sewer payment. Another thing that you might want to consider is if you have one-time expenses, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But first, we just want to look at focusing on thinking about the big picture. Maybe ask our partner, is there anything that you can think of that maybe I didn't? Or a roommate, anything with the utilities that will affect us this month. Then we need to think about these other periodic expenses. So these are our semi-annual and our one-time expenses. And we'll want to think about them occurring in a cycle. Some bills occur once or twice a year. For example, my car insurance comes due on January, and then it comes due on June. So I pay it twice a year. But my property and real estate tax, I pay at the end of December. Some of us may have propane heat and may need to fill our tanks up, like at the beginning of the winter, and then again towards the end of the winter. Sometimes, depending on the winter, it may be 2 or 3 times. So you kind of have to look at how that quickly that's going away, and kind of keep that in the back of your head as one of your expenditures. Quarterly expenditures happen every 3 months, and they're usually pretty much on a regimented cycle. So my trash payment would be a good example of a quarterly payment. I only pay that 4 times a year. A budget calendar is really helpful for helping you keep track of these expenses, for your one-time, your quarterly, your semi-annual expenses. And then you can also put in things here that could be extra credits. Maybe you got a check for your birthday or for Christmas, or that stimulus check came in, or your income tax return, your federal or your Missouri return is coming through. All those sort of things are things that you can actually add as income rather than subtract as expenditures or bills and reflect it in your calendar. Keeping track of things this way is going to help you build your budget spreadsheet. And that is the next step in the process, creating a digital budget.